We go live in 5, 4, 3, 2.
And we back.
Yeah. And we back, and we back, and we back, and we back, and we back. Yeah. Thinking Out Loud Podcast. It's your boy yMKaoD. You know who I am. You know what this is. TOLPcast.com. Man, we've been doing this shit for so long, you should already know where to go. But if you're not where you need to be, TOLPcast.com yet again. Facebook Live. Tuesday, Talk That Talk. Tuesday! And we back at it again with almost said the bad word. My girl, Tony, Mrs.Lip. What's good, baby? How you doing? Blessed and highly favored, I'm sure.
Yes, definitely.
All right, and then we got the other, cuss word. We got the other beautiful person in the building, Shina. Shina, what's good, baby?
I'm always blessed, always blessed.
All right, so since you always blessed, let's jump into the shits. So I did a podcast a week ago, and I had some feedback from my sisterin, is what I call them. I have my brethren and I have my sisterin. So from my sisterin, I had some feedback. And the feedback from my sisterin was not that positive about the comments and the sentiments that I made during that episode. So I wanted to give her and another individual, Ashley, who's not on the podcast tonight. Ashley, I will say your name. You know who you are, and you know where you're supposed to be, but you're not here. So with that being said, we're going to let these two young African-American women represent their perspective on the content of last episode, as opposed to jumping to some hot takes. So before we get into the shits, I just want to thank y'all both for taking the time to be with me tonight. Thank you both. Love you. Love you. I'm doing the horns, and I got a bomb, and so that's that. Nah,
horns
real quick.
And a bomb. All right.
Horns and a bomb.
Somebody trying to butter us up. I think he a little scared.
Hey, nobody scared about shit. She got me fucked up. So, with that being said, Mrs.Lip and I, if people don't know, I am yLip. Mrs.Lip. We have this kind of this marriage thing going on, but we were friends first, and because of that, I can cut that shit off immediately. I'm like, okay, you know what? On the podcast, I'm me. This is Lip, and you are you. Which is what do you want to go by? What do you want to be called?
My name's Tony.
Okay, so Tony. Tony on the podcast, and Shanae. I want to talk to y'all.
First, that's fine with me too.
So on this podcast, I want to talk to y'all for a second about these hot takes, current events, all that shit, blah 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 blah. And we got limited time, so let me get straight to the shits. The shits is, first and foremost, it just got announced Meek Mill got released on bail. Does that mean anything to anybody?
Hallelujah. I'm excited for that. I'm excited.
Yes, good for him. Good for him, good for his family, good for Rock Nation, good for Philly, good for everybody. Absolutely. Good for everybody.
Okay. So with Meek Mill being released, we know that he served 5 months incarcerated, waiting on bail. Not incarcerated for a crime, just waiting to get a hearing. So, again, we want to celebrate the fact that my man's is home with the horns. And I'm not going to be too presumptuous, but do we expect anything out of this situation as far as like, oh shit, Meek about to drop the new fire? He been writing in the lab.
So. Yeah, I would think so.
Oh, really?
I've been out here just advocating for him. I would expect something.
Okay. All right, I was just asking. So, y'all feel that way? Good.
I've always been a Meek Mill fan, and I'm really excited that he's home. And I hope that he's got something written down over the 5 months that he's been away that he can go in the studio and put down for us. I feel like we need some Meek Mill in our lives.
You're right, but you don't always get that pen and paper without a transaction to occur. So we got to talk about that too with the Meek Mill situation. Like, Meek, how did you survive for 5 months, boy? I'm going to leave it at that. That's a little awkward. I ain't even going to go there. So with that being said, that's a hot take about Meek Mill. It's a little gross. I'm going to give myself a Boo for that.
Like he
I booed
shouldn't
myself.
have
I booed
survived
myself. I booed
5
myself.
months and then,
I
like,
booed
20
myself.
years. Like, come on.
I booed myself. With that being said, the next topic. Whose dog is barking? That's the hot take for tonight.
That's Caesar. I'm so sorry. My dog is like going ham right now. I think it's because you made that comment and you stressed him out a little bit.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Clap it up. Now, another hot take. We got a lot of music coming out within the culture. We heard about the new Kanye album. We heard about the new Kanye and Kid Cudi collabo album. We heard about, well, obviously J. Cole just dropped his project. We have a Tiana Taylor album coming out. We got a lot of new music coming out. I think Pusha T is doing something. So how do we feel right now with the influx of music when it comes to hip-hop right now in the culture and coming up on this summer? I feel like everybody's trying to compete with that whole, like, I own the summer, I run the summer that DJ Khaled has had for the past 5 years. What do y'all think?
I mean, at least it's decent artists, you know. At least we'll have some J. Cole to listen to or have some Tiana Taylor or some Kanye. But as long as Kanye stopped being so weird. I feel like Kanye got weird.
That's not going to happen anymore. I think that is just pretty much who he is now. I think after that breakdown, it's just going to be what it is now with Pusha T. Let's hope his content changes because it's getting kind of dry. Like, I'm tired of him talking about drug dealing at this point or being the king of whatever.
Since
like,
we're talking about it, and shout out to the homie Crack, said Kanye been weird. So what y'all expect? He been weird.
He was a good weird in the beginning. He was a good weird, like a positive weird. Now he's just, oh my God, like.
I was like,
who
I
is
don't even
this
know what to
weird?
do with
Like,
this anymore. I don't even know.
So with that being said, so we happy about that. Now, you know,
and hopefully we'll be able to add Meek Mill to that list for taking
right. Absolutely.
Impossible. Impossible. It won't be possible for Meek Mill to join that list because his whole demographic is different. And I ain't gonna go into it. I'm gonna just say this. Did y'all listen to J. Cole's King of Drugs?
I heard like 2 songs.
Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't listened to it in its entirety. No.
I mean,
I'm sorry. I accidentally clapped for y'all. I gotta. Boo this.
Well, boo it. I get
the whole thing.
Yes, 3 times I've listened to it. It's a solid album. It's a solid piece of work, but it's 25% like bangers and another 75% of boo.
Yeah, I was gonna say the 2 songs that I heard. I can't even tell you what they were called because I was unimpressed.
Okay.
I do remember thinking that he got better beats this time.
Okay.
But that's it.
Okay. So with that being said, Shanae, any comment on the music? What you looking for? What you not looking forward to? Did you listen to the King of Drugs?
Just slightly on my Google Play, but nothing actually jumped out at me. Actually, to be totally honest about it, so I'm sorry. I'll have to get back to you once I actually listen to it in its entirety. So let's just.
But while we are talking about music, we do need to.
But I am excited about that on the Run tour.
On the Run tour.
So I am actually very excited about that. I'm looking for
All right, hold on one second.
There is
this
that.
was the topic I didn't want to address, but go ahead and do y'all shits.
That's okay. I mean,
the Beyonce shit was.
Get into.
I'm gonna just say,
I think you're
Beyonce,
calling us out right now. You need to get into it. We need to get into it.
No, we gonna get into it. I am dragging us out. The one thing I want to say.
So quit dragging your feet and get
the only thing I'm gonna say again about the music tip, just to kind of close it out, is the Beyonce little performance overrated as hell. Stop comparing Beyonce. Stop.
Still haven't even seen it.
I have seen it.
Because all the videos have been pulled down.
I've seen clips, and from what I've seen some.
Oh, come on! That doesn't even.
Some 90s.
Let's not do this.
Hold on. Some 90s style denim shorts, some cowboy boots with the little sparklies on them, and the little, fake HBCU.
So that explains the cowboy boots. The booty shorts also, like a Texas thing, like a Daisy Duke type of thing. Let's just let this go because we're gonna eat you up with that. So
all right, fuck it. Let's get into it.
Let's keep doing this to yourself.
Okay, Crack. It was great. Not MJ level. I agree. MJ is the greatest, but I don't believe
even in this comparison thing.
We're not comparing. We're not. I'm not. I told y'all from jump.
References the Coachella performance. They bring up Michael Jackson. Nobody
even was talking about him. Yes, exactly.
Appreciate a Beyonce performance without comparing her to Michael Jackson.
Amen.
Okay, so
Okay, now for the sake of conversation, can you tell Crack to hold his comments that are arbitrary until we actually have a dialogue about what we're supposed to talk about?
Okay, well,
I'm trying to bring up drama.
Crack, they going at you, boy. And you can catch Crack at The Plug is Back in America on SoundCloud, iTunes, and wherever else you can find the podcast. That's the homie. Check it out. With that being said, I gotta tell y'all, this is the moment that I've been waiting for.
All right.
I stand on what I say. I stand on my shits. Shanae, you told me, you texted me. We gonna put it out there. You texted me. You said I need to holler at the boy because I have an issue. What is the issue that you had with last week's topic, talking about black gods and goddesses versus black men and women? Tell me what the fuck you think is wrong with what my opinion was on that topic. Go. Floor is yours.
Now let's start at the beginning. My biggest one was when you said, when you kind of disagreed that black women don't support black men at a certain level. I feel like we actually, like I explained to you before, historically, we go to the streets for our black men. We march for y'all. We protest for y'all. We sit down. We stand up for y'all. We actually advocate more for you guys than you do for yourselves. A lot of times women were at the forefront of all these revolutions and things that came along historically that gave us the rights that we have today, including our freedom, our basic freedom. I mean, let's talk about the people who actually sat around and said, you know what, we need to protect our black men because it's always been open season on black men in this country. There's always been like that. So I didn't like when you hit me with the, Crack too. Well, you know, what about
shout out to Crack.
What these oh my God, they don't even like the baby daddy. They don't like this, they don't like that. I'm like, come on, like let's keep it real. Let's keep that out of the actual conversation because that's anecdotal at best. Like those are isolated events that happen between two people within the confines of whatever they did to get those kids, and they have some beef that they need to just iron out. But we talking about when you say supporting black men, and I think that black women do that beyond anybody. So that was my biggest thing with you. The other thing, which was minor, was that how y'all were making it so trivial with the black goddess and the black god and the king and queen context. It's like I told you, men do that a lot of times. I don't think women do, but I think men use that as a way to like get on with females. There's no genuine context behind that where they're actually meaning that. They're looking at the physical attributes. And you guys made it seem like, you know, because black women don't use it, that we don't view you as kings or gods, but it's like it's an earned thing. It's not something you just throw around.
Okay.
We gas women up all the time that have no bearing for it.
Shanae, let me ask you something. Let's address this point by point before we run out of time, because you going on such a monologue that I'm looking at the clock like, damn, we about to be done with the podcast.
Oh, come on, bro. You did music the first 10 minutes. You did music the first 10 minutes, so no.
Okay, so let's start this shit off. What's your first point? First point that you need addressed. Go. The first problem, because you gave me about 3, 4, 5.
No, I gave you 2. The first one was that how
you actually...
What?
I'm looking at the camera and I'm seeing somebody else saying, no, she gave you 2.
It was just 2. If you were paying attention.
Yes, it was 2. Okay, so here we go. Do you still agree with your point that black women don't support black men?
As much as black men support black women? Absolutely.
You do?
Absolutely, really? Because black men love their black women. Yeah. We treat the black women with the utmost respect.
Tony, please.
I know. You see me over here. I'm like, I'm looking for a reason why this would ever be the case, and I can't find one. I can't find one.
How do y'all?
If we truly want to consider throughout history the context of black women supporting their black men, I mean, even okay, hold on.
See,
I think almost the fact that we have to. I feel like the fact that black men feel the need to call women queens and goddesses when they're trying to get on is a testament to the fact that you don't universally feel that way as it is. The respect for Black women is not inherent, I think. When it comes to Black men, and we've had this conversation before, even the way that women are referenced in casual conversation with Black men, bitches and hoes, it just falls off the tongue because that respect is not inherent. You do not love and respect Black women to the degree that we do for you, whether you're around or not.
Okay, so let me be an advocate for the people who don't have a voice, because that's all I strive to be in this world, is I strive to be an advocate for the people who don't have a voice. And so for my man Craig Diesel, he wanted to mention that, basically it was said in jest what he said earlier, but he doesn't see y'all opinion. So what about the young Black professional woman who refuses to date the guy with no job and stays single into her 40s, which is a real issue in the community too? Women don't rock with broke men. And I'm going to say women don't rock with broke niggas.
That's a different conversation, though.
Black and broke are two different things.
Yeah.
They're not the same.
First off, if you're broke, you have no business dating in the first place because you have some work to do. You have some work to do. That's both for males and females. That's not just a male thing. That's females, too. If you are actually in dire straits, you don't have time to date.
Hold on. I need y'all to speak one at a time. So say what you're going to say.
Go ahead, Shina. Go get it.
I said for dating, it's not a male-female thing. It's both. It's like if you're in dire straits, you don't have time for dating. Like, you have work to do. You have things that you need to be getting straight on your side before you actually want to add another person into your affairs. Like, I don't think that's something that actually jumps out as a Black professional. As a woman, I don't want to date a broke man. Like, no, that's not a Black man trait. That's any woman, or any man for that matter. He doesn't want to date a bill, does he?
False. That's not true. No, hold on. Whoa. I'm not trying to date no dude. I'm saying that it's false.
I said women too, right? Did I not say women too?
I'm saying,
I did say women.
Look, at the end of the day, there is a stigma against Black men who don't have it, quote unquote, going on, who ain't got their shit popping, who ain't got it going to a greater extent.
What about all the women that are actually dating men that are incarcerated right now? It's a lot of women. They are marrying them behind bars, knowing they about to do at minimum 8 to 10 at minimum, and they are still shacking up. Like, they're like, okay, I'm gonna marry you because when you get out, you gonna be.
Why are you marrying a nigga behind bars for 8 to 10?
They do it all the time. It's not something that is like this is a one-off. This is something that happens all the time.
I said, why though? Why?
I have no idea. I wouldn't do it, but they do.
Okay, so Mrs.Lip, or rather Tony. So, here we go. So Crack said, for what crime? The crime matters. So what's the crime that is admissible to stay with somebody for 10 years?
No, women marry the murderers all the time.
None of them.
So Tony, what you think?
Well, first off, if my man was doing 8 to 10, we'd have to have a serious conversation before he went in, because I don't think it could be me. I don't think so.
I don't think you don't think so.
What?
I think you know so. 8 to 10?
I know it could be.
Right. So you bullshitting. So let me get a horn for myself for that. Because you bullshitting. I called y'all to you bullshitting. I got a point for that. I wish we could have points on the board. I'm going to do that next. Y'all going to see. I'm going to change this whole shit up. Now, getting back to your original point, Shanae, about women supporting Black men more than Black men support Black women. My thing is this, and I want to give this to you, Tony. Do you agree with Shanae in that respect, that really you feel like you're not as supported by Black men than you are by...
Yes, I do. Absolutely, I do.
How?
I feel like
I'm your husband. I support you. How you gonna say that?
Okay. Hold on. I'm saying as much. We're talking about levels to this stuff. I'm not saying that we're not supported. I'm saying as much. If you want to go tit for tat as men and women and who supports who more, there are plenty of instances where Black women support Black men more than they do the other way around.
Okay. Why do you think that?
If you want to talk about levels, if it's a race, we win.
But like I said in the last episode, it's more of y'all than there are of us. So there's
That's not the point.
But that's not the point.
Let's talk proportionally. Even proportionally, you have one woman in your life to support and respect and love and care for. And if we wanted to count the nickels, I might have more nickels than you.
You said if you had to count the niggas, you got more niggas than me.
You know that's not what I said, and now you're being silly and trying to dodge the fact that I'm making a point. If you want to constantly go back to the argument that there's more men than women, or more women than men, rather, to justify the fact that you think that men support women more often, like that doesn't even correlate. That doesn't even make any sense.
Okay, so
that you dodging the real issue.
Okay,
because I think even you inside of your friend groups, I'm sure you could agree that there is a level of disrespect towards women that you guys tolerate. That
perfect.
does not happen in female relationships.
Perfect
it doesn't
segue.
happen.
Perfect segue. And we had this conversation, and I want to bring it on wax. We had a conversation where I had one of my best friends down here, and we were having a casual conversation. And we were just talking. I was like, man, this chick on Facebook. He was like, man, and I seen this whole on Instagram. And then you brought it to our attention. You were like, look how easily y'all talk so disparagingly about us. But you also gave the example, which I often hear in the private confines of female conversations. Oh, this bitch ass nigga did this. Oh, this weak ass nigga did this. And this little nigga did this. Blah, 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 blah. Like, y'all talk shit about us like we talk casually about y'all. Y'all say it with malice. We say it with love and with peace and with...
But we also say it with context. And you can't call somebody a hoe with love, first off. Don't even. You, as a man, can't call some woman a hoe out of love. Don't bullshit us.
When I say out of love, what I mean is out of love.
That's what you said, though. That's what you said out of your mouth just now. You say it with love. That's what you said.
That's not what I was about.
I agree with Tony.
Shina, I didn't ask you. So
I don't care, but there's my 2 cents.
I don't care. I don't care.
Okay, so
say it right or don't say it.
Okay, so with all that being said, at the end of the day, getting back to the core of the argument in the initial episode about the black goddesses, black gods thing, have you, Shanae, ever called a man a black god?
No.
Why?
I just haven't. It's not something that I use to describe the black man to me. I mean, and plus I've never been in that position where I feel like I needed to.
What about king? Black king?
Yes, I have used that before.
Okay, and why?
Because at the time I was in a relationship in which I value his presence.
So his value in your life made him a king to you.
Yeah, he was extremely, in this instant, he was extremely supportive. He was there for me, and he was a good mate to me. And so the respect was there. There was a pure level of respect in which I think that title was given. And I think that because he called me queen as well, it was terms of endearment for us. No, I'm saying it was a term. There was terms of endearment that went back and forth between the two of us. So I'm not saying that because he called me that, I called him that. I'm saying that's what he called
so
me.
You're saying it because you knew my next point was, so it wasn't reciprocal. It was just the fact that that's the nature of y'all relationship. Tony, have you ever called a man a black god?
No.
Why?
Because there is one God in my life, and he's
one. There's
black
one
man on this earth.
One.
I'm not calling anyone a god or a goddess on this planet.
Okay, so with that being said, have you ever called a man a black king?
No.
Oof.
No, I have not.
This is a very awkward moment on the podcast.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It ain't.
Yes, it is, because I can... I ain't gonna do it. Do it for the gram. I ain't gonna do it. Do it for the gram. I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. But
you trying to be cute in front of your friends. You know good and damn well I ain't never called you no king around here.
Okay, but let's explore that. Why? What do you consider to be a black king?
Somebody who's like elected to run a nation. I mean, that word has...
Well, then there's the other side. There you go. So she answered that quite eloquently. Thank you very much.
Okay, Shanae, all right. Shanae, your feet.
I'm co-signing. Now cash the check. I'm done.
All right. You know what? Shanae, you said that you call your man a black king because he's the king and you're the queen of y'all's kingdom, which I assume is y'all household, y'all family, whatever that may be. With Tony, she said, even if we got a household and a family, you still not going to be my black king. That's my point. There is a dissension amongst the black community where we're not on one accord.
And that's fine.
But you don't have
It's
to
not
do
fun.
that. You don't have to do that. Like, it was a term of endearment. I didn't walk around in the street just calling him that. I did use his name. It was
Hey,
a lot of
Jason called it out. Jason,
I say my king.
Jason
My
called
king.
it out.
Like, come on now, let's chill out.
Okay, so we can agree that both of y'all have a different perspective on what a black king is, which brings me back to my last and final point from the last episode, which is, why do we use these terms so loosely when in the community, not every nigga is a black king and not every female is a black queen? That's
I
don't
don't
use it loosely.
hold on, y'all can't talk to me at the same
Shanae
time.
said-
Hold on. I gotta bomb it out so we can explore this. Go ahead, Tony, go.
So, just like Shanae said, it's used within context. So, it's used when dudes try to spit game and when there's mutual respect within a relationship, and that's the decided terms of endearment. It's not like people are just running around calling people kings, queens, and goddesses and gods. We don't do that. We all know that. So, it's within context. These words are not used loosely. If anything, they're always used within like a specific reason, within agreement between two people.
Okay, so that's your perspective. Shanae, you also feel as if that is necessary depending on the nature of your relationship. So I guess, again, at the end of the day, y'all still disagree.
No, we don't.
Yes,
We
you
actually
do.
Don't.
He literally just wrapped up exactly what I said. I said it was something that I used within the confines of one isolated relationship because that was the terms of those were the terms of endearment. That
Okay,
was
so Tony, I want to use terms of endearment. You're my black queen.
I don't call you my black anything. I think the fact that you're black is implied within.
Ooh, that's a good one. So should we not use the qualifier black and just say you my king, you my queen?
If you want to, do whatever the hell you want. I don't think I'm not gonna sit here and put rules on how two people in a relationship should talk to each other.
Okay,
that's ridiculous.
All right. Well, you know what? With that being said, we got about 2 minutes. From now on, Tony, I'm your king. I want to be called king. Okay? Address me as your king and your God.
We'll talk next week.
I am Xerxes.
How that worked out.
I am Xerxes. I am your king and your God. You will respect.
White.
Really?
No, he wasn't. No, he was Middle Eastern. Like he was Mediterranean. Yeah, Persian.
Oh,
Persian
well, he wasn't black though.
It don't matter that we all came from
You want to be
somewhere.
a Middle Eastern dude running around this house? Is that what you want? Is that what you're asking for?
Shit, you say I'm light skinned anyway, so I might as well be Middle Eastern. So again, Xerxes, respect me as your God king. Okay? Is that okay?
No.
Okay. So, and I guess the final disgruntledness from the last episode was, there's something I have to say, which I hate to do, but after a conversation with the big homie who will never see this episode named Marshall McBride, we had a conversation, and he reminded me that what's most important is the unity amongst us as a culture and a community. And no matter what we call each other, there is a certain stigma around the fact that the black woman is downtrodden in America. And I have to agree with that to a certain extent, that y'all are not treated with the same level of respect that y'all deserve given what y'all provide to this earth. And with that being said, I apologize for anything that I have said in previous episodes that may have been disparaging. But fuck all that. This is Think It Out Loud, and I say what I say, and I stand on what I stand on. And I still believe we shouldn't be using those terms. But you know what? If you use them, I ain't hating on you. I'm not in that relationship. And if you are using those terms, fuck it. Use those terms. At the end of the day, it don't impact me. All I'm saying is you're giving a false precept to people who don't deserve that title. Pookie and Ray Ray, who robbed the homie the other day, them niggas not kings. At the end of the day, them niggas not, let me harm myself. Them niggas not kings. Pookie and Ray Ray not kings. And LaQuisha and Taquante, who is kind of on some other stuff, them niggas slash women slash men, they not kings or queens or either one of the motherfuckers. At the end of the day, we need to call a spade a spade. The black culture is split. We got people trying to move forward. We got people keeping us stagnant and taking us backwards. And that's my last comment. I want to give the floor to y'all for y'all last statements, final thoughts. Shanae, go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna say that your last statement is I'm sure that people are not going around calling Pookie and Ray Ray kings and gods. I'm pretty sure of that.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure that, what'd you call her? Takesha, something like that.
Yeah,
I'm sure that
Takesha Laquanda.
If Taquan want to call her a queen, that's his queen. So I'm gonna let that be. All right. Okay. So that's my final thought for that. It's like we're not gonna go into this whole broad stroke of who deserves to be and who don't deserve to be. It's with the context of wherever they at in their relationship. So,
Tony, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. If anybody has a link to the Beyonce Coachella performance, send it to me. I can't find it anymore.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah, one opportunity. Okay. Tonight.
I saw the first hour. I didn't see the second hour. I need some help.
So I'm gonna point these fingers. Y'all on that bullshit. Because one person talked about Taquana and LaQuisha, and the other one said I need Beyonce links. So
I need the link
for both of y'all, it's a big old bump you, Black Queens. It's your boy yLip, and this is Stick It Out Loud Podcast, TOLPcast.com. Facebook Live one more time for the outro because it's got to smooth it out. All right. With that being said, Shanae, I love you, girl. Thank you for joining me, Black Queen. And I want to thank you, Black Queen Tony. You back to Mrs.Lip, baby. So I love you, girl.
He a hater, Tony. Don't even worry about that.
Nah, she knew what the shit was. It's been 8 years. She knew what the shit was. So with that being said, hey, hold on. And yo. Y'all so damn whack, dog. Dog, y'all whack.
Gotta have you doing it. I'm sorry.
Niggas.